Hi everybody, thanks for checking out today's video. I'm here in the store with my coworker Ben, who I'm sure is annoyed with seeing this thing run, so this will be the last video on the Nitro Swapped Yokomo drift car. I'll just give you a quick tour of the whole thing, and then it'll be up for sale, so check the link in the description below. We'll go from front to back in no particular order. Headlights. So the headlights themselves are a Yokomo brand drift kit. It's just 6 very basic bulbs, but the pop-up bits are what I'm sure everybody is interested in. So it's 2 9-gram servos with, I guess you could call those custom-built mechanisms. It's basically the original light bucket with a paperclip bent through it and glued in to act as a hinge. And then these are small pieces of servo horn with, the holes through them that I can glue on and move around to get different heights to get the alignment just right. And then the push rods themselves are another bent paperclip with a little U channel in the middle there that allows me some mechanical trim. Picked that one up from my RC airplane days, but basically this is an auxiliary 1 channel, and it's also tied in to the lights on the chassis, which run on a 8 amp light driver. So when I hit the button to raise the headlight, the driver side headlight, this opens up, turns the light bulbs on, and then I have on auxiliary 2 another servo, and I did that so that I can be stupid with it and wink. So I've got headlights up, headlights down, and then just the one. Doesn't move all the way, but it gets close. And I know it's not a Miata, but it's close. So we got these running lights down on the bottom, we got the normal pop-ups, and then we also have tail lights that turn on and off with the whole thing. So that's all on one switch. The body itself was painted by Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, my coworker here. I just did the headlights and the lighting and the buckets and all that. So these are disconnectable. There's several splitters in here, but I labeled which side headlight is which. That can all come unplugged. That's basically it for the body. It's a nice RX-7 body. The chassis itself, like I said, is Yokomo YD-2. It's polycarbonate. It's not a carbon fiber one. The shocks are all stock. I'm not sure where this bumper came from, but Jeff did the body and he also pieced this bumper together. So it's a shaved down bumper with Velcro on it. And this Velcro interfaces there and also back here on this side with Velcro on the body. So the body just sits on there with Velcro. Nothing too crazy. The power switch, the very first thing up front, it's a Traxxas power switch, turns it all on and off. The steering servo, this is a EcoPower 110S, and we have a Yokomo DP302 V4 steering gyro. You can see that as it freaks out. All of this is powered by a ProTech 1100 mAh 2S LiPo. It is double-side taped onto the steering servo. I tried to mount that kind of stuff further forward to offset the weight of the engine in the back. So for charging, you just unplug the balance lead there and charge from it, but the battery is in the car. The main power lead from that battery goes back to the starting system. We'll get there when we get there. Up on top, Spectrum SR515, that is a 5-channel receiver, and I am using all 5 channels. So that is double-side taped onto the throttle servo, which is actually a Hexfly HXTS. I think it's a 30 or 35 kilo servo, so that's a pretty stout one, and that does the throttle and brake. You can see that upper chassis, you can see it flex when I hit brakes. It's a bit hard to see now, but the brake system goes straight back to the fuel line tubing. You know how I like to do that, with a little bit of a brace, and the throttle actually goes down to this turnbuckle, which then pushes up on the throttle lever, so you can see it down there. moving the throttle. So that pushes down, which then through that turnbuckle system pushes up and opens and closes throttle. Works really well. The fuel tank on the side here is from a Traxxas Nitro Hawk. I thought I would use that to prime the engine and to act as a fuel cutoff, but it turns out I didn't need to, so that's a little, I don't know, a little overkill, little wasted having that pump on top. Didn't need it. It's a 75 milliliter tank. On the side here, oh, I skipped the lighting. This is the light driver that runs the body, plugs in here into auxiliary channel. Working down the side, we've got the ignition parts. So we have this relay. When I press my auxiliary 3 channel, you see that relay turn blue. It also runs the starter motor. Oh, it starts the engine. So when I press that button forward, it triggers this relay, which sends power to the starter motor and to the glow driver. The glow driver is actually running through 2 resistors right here, which is tapped off of 1 cell of power from the battery, so that steps it down from 4 volts to 1.5 volts to run the glow driver. I think it's a 3/4 ohm resistor is what I ended up using. It's a single 1 ohm and a single 3.3 ohm in parallel. So that's what starts up the engine. This little brick, this is an Arduino Micro, with the programming port still open, so if anybody ever needed to make tweaks, they could. But this little guy uses a Traxxas temperature sensor, which goes around the engine head over here. You can see it. And when it gets hot enough, it runs that fan. So I figured this would be a lot of this car would do a lot of driving with the body on, but not moving very quickly. And I wanted to make sure we had good cooling for the engine, and we definitely do. So that is a 50 millimeter 5-volt fan running on 7 volts. So it definitely moves some air, and it keeps the engine under 200 degrees. So I'm happy with that. All this just kind of tucks underneath this center bulge here. I will move it out of the way to show you this servo. Down there by the fuel tank, that is actually a fuel cutoff. So if you look really closely, I push forward on this button to start it. And you can see that servo move because it's on the same channel. So if I push backwards on this channel, that little guy just chops the fuel. So this has remote start and remote stop. You can turn the car off when you want to, you can start it when you want to, which I thought was pretty nifty. A little further back here, we've got the engine mount, obviously a TRX 0.15. This actually came from a Nitro V boat, so I'm using the Nitro V header that goes up and off to the side, and the starting system from it. That is a T-Max engine mount with spacers off the chassis to get the mesh correct. And here's another view of the throttle turnbuckle. You can see it operating there. That's spaced off of the forward left engine mount. Moving on back, it is a used engine, but it does have a new carburetor and a new cooling head, so got that going for you. The exhaust, this is a Traxxas Nitro Stampede exhaust tube and pipe and dual tips. So we do have authentic dual tip exhaust on our Nitro RX-7. The spur and pinion gear setup, I believe this is a 18 tooth Mod 8, and the spur is a 54 tooth. And that is using, if you've seen my previous videos, that is using a Traxxas slipper eliminator that happened to fit perfectly on the Yokomo transmission input with a Dubro collar for RC airplane landing gear, actually. And that holds that gear on. So that's pretty much it for the underside of the car. This is the biggest car I've ever built, so I figured I'd also make it the most complicated to use up that space. Most of you know I only do things 12th scale and smaller. Now I guess I have dabbled into 10th scale touring car, but if I do more 10th scale touring cars like this, I will be sure to do a lot of overcomplicated crap like this. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. Here's a little bit of it driving. If you're interested in purchasing it, it is live on eBay down below, or you can come in and see me in person if you're anywhere near Winston-Salem, North Carolina.